All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever had one of those amazing light bulb moment ideas for an AI app, but then, boom, you hit the I don't know how to code wall? Well, what if I told you that you could build a whole machine learning model from scratch just by talking? Yep, that's what we're going to break down today, how to do exactly that.
You know how it is. It always starts with that little spark, right? That what if moment. Maybe you're thinking, hey, what if I could predict which customers are going to leave? Or how can I analyze all these product reviews automatically? Great ideas. They're literally the fuel for everything cool. But let's be real. An idea by itself, it's usually not enough to get you across the finish line. Because right after an awesome idea comes the hard part, the implementation. And when it comes to AI, that has always meant running smack into this huge, scary wall of code. You hear words like Python, TensorFlow, scikit-learn, and it feels like they're these gatekeepers just standing there, blocking the path between your brilliant concept and a thing that actually works. But here's where things get really interesting. What if you could just walk around that wall? Just sidestep it completely. Forget all about syntax and libraries and all that stuff. Just picture it. You describe what you want in plain, simple English, and you have this expert AI partner who builds the entire project for you. It's a total game changer. So first, let's really look at this thing we're calling the coding wall, this traditional barrier, and more importantly, how we're going to tear it down.
And our guide for this whole adventure is an AI named Claude. It works right inside a super popular code editor called VS Code. Now, it's really helpful to think of Claude less like a tool and more like, I don't know, an expert co-pilot. It's sitting right there with you, ready to turn your vision into an actual working program. And getting started is, well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. We're talking 3 quick installations. First, you'll need to grab VS Code. It's free, tons of people use it. Second, you install Python. That's the language working its magic behind the scenes. And finally, you just add the Claude extension right from inside VS Code. And that's it. Seriously, that's the entire setup. Okay, so with the boring setup stuff out of the way, let's get to the fun part. The main event. We're about to see how a simple, normal conversation turns into a full-blown machine learning project. So it all kicks off with a prompt. And just look at this. It's not code, right? It's just a clear, specific request in plain English. You're just saying what you want to do. Predict customer churn. And you can even get a little more specific, like suggesting using random forest. And don't worry about the jargon. That's just a name for a really powerful way of making decisions with data. And then, literally moments later, bam, this happens. And check this out. Claude doesn't just spit out one messy script. No, it generates an entire, beautifully organized project, just like a professional developer would set it up. You got a file for your requirements, the main training script, and even little helper files for configs and stuff. It's the whole shebang. Now this right here, this is the secret sauce. This is what makes it all work, being specific. If you just say, train a model, you're going to get something, well, vague. But look at the good example. You give it clear context, what kind of model, what the goal is, what the data looks like. That's what gives the AI the power to build exactly what you're picturing in your head. So let's peek inside one of those files Claude just made for us, requirements.txt. Think of this as a shopping list. It's just a list of all the extra software tools your project needs to run. And here's the best part. You don't have to figure out how to install any of it. You can just ask Claude to do it. It's that easy. And what's next? Well, once the whole project is laid out and all the tools are installed, you just tell Claude to run it. No complicated commands, no terminal wizardry, just a simple, hey, please run the script now. That's it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds a little too easy, right? I mean, we all know that in the real world, things almost never work perfectly the first time. So let's talk about the inevitable, troubleshooting. But now, you're doing it with a partner. Because this is the question, isn't it? What happens when things go wrong? This is the moment that stops so many people dead in their tracks. Some weird, cryptic error message pops up, and it just feels like game over. But it really doesn't have to be. So imagine this thing pops up on your screen. Module not found error. No module named scikit-learn. I mean, to anyone who's not a coder, that looks like complete gibberish, right? It's an instant roadblock. And yeah, your first thought is probably just to close the laptop and give up. But check this out. With your new AI partner,
The fix is unbelievably simple. You just copy that scary-looking error message, you paste it right into the chat, and you just say, hey, I got this error, and that's it. Claude will figure out what's wrong, it'll explain it to you in simple terms, and then it'll just fix the code for you. And it's not just about fixing things that are broken. You can ask for anything, any kind of improvement. Maybe the model isn't accurate enough. Just say, hey, can you try a different model? Want to see a cool chart of your data? Just ask for it. You can even ask for really complex stuff, like telling it to fine-tune all the little internal settings to squeeze out better performance. So let's just take a step back for a second and look at what just happened. We went from a simple idea, a what if, to a fully working, constantly improving machine learning project. And the craziest part? We did it all without writing a single line of code. Your idea isn't just an idea anymore. It's real.
The whole journey from start to finish really just boils down to these 6 simple steps. And do you see the pattern? Every single step is a conversation. You say what you want, you ask it to build, you ask it to install, you ask it to run, and maybe most importantly, you work with it to fix, improve, and perfect your model.
You see, this completely changes your role in all of this. You're not the coder anymore. You're the architect, the project lead, the visionary. Just think about what this means. For a small business owner, a marketing analyst, a researcher, it means you can build your own custom tools without needing to hire a whole team of developers. Your job becomes focusing on the what and the why, and you let your AI partner worry about the how.
And that brings us to the final and, I think, most important question. Now that this massive wall, this huge barrier to entry has been completely knocked down, the only thing left is your imagination. The coding wall is gone. So, what will you build?